All right, the Atlanta Falcons got some good news. Double dose, actually. A couple of good things that are happening. One is they have extended a key piece of their offense. We're going to talk about just why it is so important to have this guy back in the mix. And then we got an undrafted free agent. It's UDFA season, baby. About to have that first preseason game, and you're going to get to see just what you're looking at. Super, super excited for the Falcons and a DB that they have found that is starting to make great waves with a good namesake. But first, let's talk about the guy that's been around for a while. A guy that's been around for 6 years already, and it is none other than Kaleb McGary. He signs a 2-year extension worth $30 million. Okay, when I saw this, all the title said was, and signs extension worth $30 million. I'm like, ooh, that's steep. Give him $30 million for a year, but it's for 2 years. It's only $15 million a year, and we're going to talk about what that is. Here's what his coach had to say about him. Obviously, he excels in the run game, Morris said. You're talking about a guy who is a top 5 blocker on that side running the ball. In other words, he's saying he's a top 5 player running the football. Period. All right. And this is a hilarious quote, right? McGary, as he's entering training camp, this is his final season of a 3-year deal. All right. Set to pay him $16.5 million this year. I think the average annual salary is like $11.5 million. He said he'd be happy to talk about a new deal anytime. Here's his quote. He said, "You will never find somebody more willing to be paid in all your life. Trust me. However, if I don't do my job well enough, there's not much reason to worry about it. One thing at a time." That wasn't perfect English, but essentially what he's saying is, I'm just going to keep playing football, and I'm going to keep playing it at a high level. And if I do that, the rest takes care of itself. And I love players who have this mindset that feel like, all right, you know what? I'm going to get $15 million a year. It's a 2-year extension. Probably could have gone for 3. Probably could have gone for closer to 17, 18, 19 million a year. But this is a good deal for the Falcons, and he gets to stay where he's been and where he's been happy. We're going to talk about where this factors in. But first, I want to talk to you about. I just want to talk to you about Kaleb McGary and what he is. He has been truly a top 10 run blocker in the NFL for the last 4 years. That's what he's been at the right tackle position, or at the tackle position in general. He has also been a good pass blocker as well. His best year came in 2022, and I'm excited to see that happen again. Remember, he plays right tackle. I know that this is simple football 101, but Michael Penix is a lefty. He's a lefty. And so this is the blind side. You have Jake Matthews on the other side, who is a phenomenal talent, just been a stalwart on the left side at left tackle for a decade. He's a phenomenal player, and we're going to see him in something that I'm going to talk about in a minute. But Kaleb McGary with Michael Penix in is now your blind side defender. It is important. And when you look at this team now, as I'm going to show you here, and I've done this in many videos, look at this offense. This is fantastic. But here's what's good. The right tackle position in this offense essentially becomes left tackle. Because, again, Penix is a lefty, but also you want a guy in McGary that can be an elite run blocker. Lindstrom, McGary on the right side with Bijan Robinson running behind him is almost an unstoppable tandem, quad, whatever you want to call it, trio, right? It's almost unstoppable. It's kind of laughable if you think about it. Like if I'm another team and I'm planning for that, I'm like, what am I going to do here? And then you go to the other side, you got Matthews and Bergeron. Like, look, this is a team that should be able to be buoyed by phenomenal offensive line play. And then I want to talk about just how good the contract is. All right, so based on PFF, and PFF isn't the end-all be-all, right? McGary has been somewhere between 20 and 30 as far as rankings upon tackles. So let's see where he sits in here. All right, you have all these guys making 28. Rashawn Slater's the new number 1. Penei Sewell, Tristan Wirfs, Trent Williams. These are Christian Darrisaw, Lane Johnson. These are your guys that are just like next level tackles. Laramie Tunsil, Raymond, right? These are the really, really good guys. Then you get into guys like Jake Matthews, which are just, they're great. I wouldn't necessarily say elite, like top 5 tackle, but they're very good top 10 potential tackles. Mailata, Miller, Tom, Bowles, right? Look at how far down we have to go in order to get into the $15 million a year range. We go all the way down to Jack Conklin, Jalen Moore, Jonah Williams, like Walker Little, Austin Jackson, like Cam Robinson. This is the area in which he's being paid. And then there's Kaleb McGary off of his last contract. They haven't updated that. He is better than all these guys. I would rather have him. He's a fantastic tackle. And that's going forward. That's not this year. That's in the next 2 years. It's his age 32 and 33 season, or 31 and 32 season. This is a fantastic move that absolutely makes sense. All right, the Falcons are also getting good news on the other side of the ball, where they have a guy that's just balling out, UDFA Cobee Bryant. He got on the field for the first time, and Cobee Bryant, when you look back at draft rankings, this is PFF's big board going into the NFL draft. He was rated as the number 13 corner, number 118 overall. The Atlanta Falcons got him as a UDFA, and they basically said, I don't know how we were able to do this. All right? This is what happened, and what Raheem Morris said. He said, we were fortunate enough. Let me zoom in here for you. All right. He said, we were fortunate enough to bring him in here on a 30 visit and to get a chance to meet with him and get around him and really find some real interest and be able to grow. Then when it came down to that, let's call it what it is, the recruiting process. I had a real clear vision and was able to really speak to him in a real clear fashion because I had watched the tape. I'd been around him. I knew what he can do. I knew what he was capable of. Whoever we were competing with basically didn't have a chance. That's a very confident head coach. Basically, what he's saying is, I knew that this guy was going to come in here. He was going to make this team, and I had a very, very good thing of what's going on. Look, he wasn't practicing. He had been dealing with an injury early on, and he had yet to play during 11-on-11s, and then on Monday he was there, and he quickly, and I mean quickly, showed why the Falcons felt good about him. He picked off Kirk Cousins. I know that happens a lot, but he was covering a deep ball against a new wide receiver, DJ Chark, got an interception. I mean, this is day one. Usually you're behind if you're a week into training camp or more and you haven't played as a rookie, you're UDFA. Like, I'm really excited about what this could look like. And it's at the corner position, which is in a decent spot for the Falcons, but you may have found a real one. In Cobee Bryant. And if his namesake is anything, let's go. All right. I've always thought he was really good. All right. Thanks for watching this one. Falcons absolutely got a massive steal, both in contract and in a UDFA. Thanks for watching. See you.